I always believed that love was something you fed like a fire, something that could grow stronger if you kept it alive with care and effort. For 10 years, I lived with that belief. I built my marriage with patience and loyalty. My wife, Meredith, was everything to me. She was beautiful in a quiet way. Her soft brown eyes and her gentle smile once made my heart race. Her voice always felt like home. I built my world around her, convinced that we were a team ready to face any storm together. But it took only one night, one conversation not meant for my ears, to bring that illusion crashing down. That evening was ordinary. I came home from work later than usual, exhausted but eager to see my wife. The house smelled of lavender and warm vanilla, the scent of the candles she loved to light. I took off my shoes, loosened my tie, and was about to call out to her when I heard her voice from the living room. At first, I thought she was on the phone with a friend. Her tone was casual, light, but then I heard my name and the floor seemed to give way beneath me. Tobias just does not get it. I cannot stand him anymore. Her words cut through the quiet like glass shattering on a tile floor. My chest turned to ice, my skin tingled, and the air felt too heavy to breathe. Every little thing he does annoys me. He is so predictable, so dull. I feel like I am suffocating. I pressed my hand against the door frame until splinters dug into my palm, trying to keep myself from collapsing. My heart beat like a drum, louder than her voice, but I heard the words clear. I prayed it was a joke, a misunderstanding, something said in frustration. But the bitter edge in her voice left no doubt. She had been holding this inside too long. I should have walked in, I should have asked her straight. What do you mean? Why do you feel this way? But I stood frozen, hiding in the hallway, a shadow in my own house. Then her voice fell lower, and what she said next broke me completely. I have not loved him in years. I just do not know how to leave. He is comfortable, reliable, but I do not want reliable. My chest seized, and I could not draw breath. The woman I had loved with every piece of me saw me only as a burden, a cage. How long had she felt this? How many nights had I held her thinking we were safe while she counted the days in silence? I wanted to burst into the room, demand an answer, make her see the damage her words had done. Another part of me wanted to vanish, erase 10 years, pretend none of this was real. Instead, I turned away, walked into our bedroom, and pulled a duffel bag from the closet. My hands trembled as I stuffed clothes inside, enough for a few days, maybe a week. As I zipped up the bag, my eyes fell on our wedding photo on the dresser. Meredith was smiling, her arms wrapped around me, her eyes full of promise. I stared at that frame until the image blurred. Had it been a lie from the start? Had she been waiting for an excuse to leave? I clenched my jaw, turned away, and walked back down the hall. I heard her laugh at something on the phone, a careless sound, light, carefree, as if she had not just ripped my heart out. I stood there for a second gripping the duffel bag, then stepped into the room. She sat on the couch, phone pressed to her ear, still smiling. That smile died the second she saw me, the bag in my hand. "Tobias," she said, confusion in her eyes. "What are you doing?" I let the silence hang. She shifted, her hands tightening on the phone, her breath uneven. I wanted to see it. The moment she realized I had heard everything, the moment her double life shattered. I finally spoke. "I hope you find what you are looking for, Meredith." Her lips parted, but no words came. I did not wait. I turned, walked to the front door, and left. The cold night air hit me, but I barely felt it. My mind was a blur, my heartbeat thundering in my ears. I did not know where I was going, only that I could not stay. I drove, knuckles white around the steering wheel. Every word I had heard echoed in my head. I have not loved him in years. I just do not know how to leave. Anger did not come, only an emptiness that burned through my bones. 10 years gone. A decade of devotion to a woman who never saw me as more than a comfortable option. How had I missed it? How had I not seen? I could not go to a friend, most were mutual, and I did not want to explain. My parents lived far away. A hotel would make it too real. So I drove. Empty roads, streetlights casting long shadows. I tightened my grip, searching for the moments I had missed, the cracks I had refused to see. The way she stopped reaching for my hand. The sigh when I talked about my day. The time she spent on her phone, smiling at messages that were never mine. Had she been waiting for me to leave all along? I pulled into a parking lot near the waterfront. Waves crashed against the shore, steady and relentless, a strange contrast to the chaos inside me. I shut off the engine, rested my forehead on the steering wheel, and let myself feel the betrayal. The humiliation of realizing my wife had been pretending for years. I swallowed hard, hoping I could believe it was salvageable, that maybe it was frustration. But her words had been spoken in truth, not in anger. She was gone long before I heard it. My phone vibrated. Her name on the screen. I stared at it for a long time, then against reason I answered. "Tobias," she said, her voice hesitant. "Where are you?" I stayed silent. The weight of it filled the line. "Look, I do not know what is going on," she began. "I heard you," I said, quiet but clear. A pause, then softer. "What?" I heard everything, Meredith. The silence that followed was deafening. She hesitated, her breath quickened. "Tobias, I did not mean," she began, but I cut her off. "Do not lie to me." The words left my mouth sharp, colder than I expected. Another silence. Then she asked, "Where are you?" I could have answered. I could have given her a chance to spin excuses, to beg, to try to pull me back into the cage. But I did not want to hear it. I hung up. For the first time in years, I accepted the truth. I had spent a decade loving a woman who did not love me back. I was done wasting seconds. I did not sleep that night. I sat in my car staring at the dark ocean, waves crashing against the shore, steady and relentless, oblivious to the storm in me. My hands stayed locked on the wheel, my knuckles white, my body braced as if impact still waited ahead. I checked my phone. 8 missed calls. 3 texts. The first was short. "Tobias, where are you?" The second more desperate. "Tobias, come home, we need to talk." The third made my stomach turn. "You are being dramatic. Let us be adults about this." Dramatic. The words slapped me. I let out a harsh laugh. I had just heard my wife say she could not stand me, that she had not loved me for years, and I was the one being dramatic. She had reduced 10 years of marriage to an inconvenience. I threw the phone to the passenger seat, rubbed my face, tried to exhale. Exhaustion wanted to pull me down, but adrenaline kept me sharp. Every little moment I had ignored came back. Every warning I had looked away from. Despite everything, I felt calm, a numbness creeping in. Like the worst had already happened, and there was nothing left but to accept. The sky began to lighten. Morning crept over the horizon. I started the car again. I did not know my next move, but I knew one thing. I was not going home. I drove. No destination, just road. The miles built distance between me and the life I no longer recognized. Streets passed. The world woke up around me, unaware that mine had collapsed. Hours passed before my stomach reminded me I had not eaten. I pulled into a small diner on the outskirts of town. A faded neon sign buzzed. The parking lot was half empty. The smell of grease and coffee hung in the air. I walked in, sat at the counter. A waitress with tired eyes and a kind smile poured me coffee without asking. "Tough night," she said. I let out a breathless laugh. "You could say that." She did not pry. She slid a menu toward me and walked away. I stared at the menu, but saw nothing. The world felt distant, like a screen separated me. People talked, dishes clinked, an old song played from a radio. Life moved on while mine had been buried. I should have been home making coffee beside Meredith. Instead, I sat here, a stranger to myself. My phone buzzed. Another text. Tobias, please at least let me explain. Explain what? Thus she had been pretending for years. That every I love you was a lie. That she had waited for the courage to leave, but never found it. I shoved the phone into my pocket. I was not ready. Not yet. Maybe not ever. For the first time in years, I had to think about me. What do I want? What do I need? I did not know. I sat there for what felt like hours. My coffee grew cold. My thoughts turned like water down a drain. The waitress returned, studied me, refilled my cup. You look like someone who needs a hot meal, she said. Pancakes or eggs? Pancakes. My voice sounded foreign. She nodded and left. I watched my reflection in the window. My hair a mess, my shirt creased from sleeping in the car. My eyes hollow, stranger eyes. The door chimed. Someone entered. I did not look. The sun had risen higher, and I followed its glow on the glass. Then a voice cut through me. Tobias. My stomach dropped. I turned. Meredith stood by the entrance. Her hair messy, her arms crossed, her eyes a mix of frustration and desperation. The diner fell quiet, as if everyone felt the weight of this moment. I gripped my coffee tighter. How did you find me? You always drive when you're upset, she said. I figured you would end up somewhere quiet. Did not expect a diner. I said nothing. She shifted, unsure. You disappeared, Tobias. I woke up and you were gone. I did not disappear, I said. I walked away. She flinched. Good. I pointed to the empty seat. You're here. Explain. She looked surprised, then sat, her hands twisted together. I did not mean for you to hear that. I was just venting. Venting. I laughed dryly. Every couple has rough patches, she said. Sometimes we say things we do not mean. How long has our rough patch been? She hesitated. I already knew. You said you have not loved me in years, I reminded her. That is not a rough patch. That is the truth. Her eyes darted away, guilt flashing across her face. I swallowed, feeling the numbness crack just enough to let pain through. All this time, I said, you were waiting. For what? For me to leave first. For a reason to run. No, she said quickly. I was not waiting, she rubbed her temples. I did not know how to bring it up. How to bring up the fact that you do not love me anymore. My voice was quiet but hard. Instead, you let me keep trying, let me believe. She winced. I did not mean for it to be like this. But it is, I said. The waitress returned with pancakes. She set the plate in front of me, gave Meredith a quick look, then walked away. The tension was suffocating. Meredith watched me pick up my fork. Her hands balled into fists. So what now, she asked. I took a slow bite, letting the silence stretch. When I spoke, my voice was calm. I do not know yet, but I am not going to be your comfortable option anymore. Her face paled. For the first time since hearing her words, I felt control return to me. She sat across from me, trying to hide nerves behind a flat expression. She must have expected me to break down, to beg, to ask how we could fix it. She must have expected me to play the man who cannot let go. But I was done. She reached for a sugar packet, tore it open, poured the grains along the table, then brushed them away, avoiding my eyes. I knew her habits too well. When she bit her lip, she was lying. When her fingers drummed, she hid something. I used to love those details. Now they made me sick. I am not proud of what I said, she admitted. But I was not trying to hurt you. So, what were you trying to do? I do not know. I felt stuck. I woke up and realized I was not the same person I was when we married. I know that is not fair to you. I know I should have talked to you. But Tobias, you have never been good at seeing signs. You always think everything is fine, because you let me think it was. She flinched, had no reply. Let me ask you something, I said. If I had not overheard you, would you have ever told me? She looked away. That was answer enough. My stomach twisted. I had been married to a woman who would have lived a lie rather than face the truth. Would she have ever left, or would she have stayed forever, resenting me until we were too old to change anything? She rubbed her temples again. I do not know what you want me to say. That is the problem, I said. You never do. The diner buzzed around us. Dishes clinked, voices murmured, an old jukebox crackled. But inside our space, the silence was a wall. She reached across the table and placed her hand over mine. Instinct made me look up. For the first time since this began, I saw fear in her eyes. Not regret, not guilt. Fear. I do not want to lose you, she said. You do not want to lose me, but you do not love me. Her throat worked. I do not know. I do not know if this is love anymore, but I do not want it to end like this. I let out a humorless laugh. You do not want it to end because it is messy, because it is uncomfortable, not because you actually want me. She did not deny it. That was the final no. I pushed my plate away. I do not know what is worse, I said. That you do not love me anymore, or that you would have let me keep loving you anyway. Her eyes gleamed with tears. I felt nothing for her tears now. I pulled money from my pocket, dropped it on the table, and stood. She stood too, looking up at me like she wanted to pull me back. Tobias, she began, can we at least know? We cannot. I turned, walked past the counter, and stepped into morning light. The air felt different outside, as if a weight had lifted, even if just a fraction. The sun warmed my skin, but I felt cold inside. I reached my car, put my hand on the door, but did not get in. I stared at my reflection in the window. Tired eyes, stubble on my jaw, shoulders hunched. A stranger. Is this what 10 years with her had made me? Someone too blind to notice he was being tolerated, not loved. Footsteps behind me. Her voice. Tobias, please do not walk away. I turned. She stood just outside the diner, her arms crossed, her face twisted with panic. I do not understand, she said. Why make this so final? We can talk. We can fix this. Fix what? How to pretend another 5 years. How to make it easier for you to stay miserable. She swallowed. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. This is not just about last night, Meredith. This is about years of you looking at me like furniture, years of letting me believe something that was not real. I was not trying to be cruel. No, you were trying to be comfortable. Her eyes flashed. And you? Do you think you were perfect? Do you think I was the only one unhappy? I laughed bitterly. No, but at least I did not lie to you. The words hit her like a slap. Her jaw tightened, then her shoulders dropped. She looked smaller than I had ever seen her. For years I saw her as the center of my world, the person I built everything around. But here, in a parking lot of a nowhere diner, I realized she was just a part of my life and a part that no longer fit. So what now? She asked, her voice shaky. Now, I said, I figure out who I am without you. Her breath caught. For the first time, she understood. I was not waiting for her to fix this. I was not letting her decide the ending. I was done. I turned, opened the car door, and slid into the driver's seat. In the mirror, I saw her, frozen in the lot, watching me. Guilt stirred for a second, but I shoved it down. I pressed the gas, and I did not look back. Miles passed. Trees and towns blurred. The engine hummed, filling the space where her voice used to be. I was not running away, but I was not ready to stop. The weight of years pressed heavier the farther I drove. It was not just heartbreak. It was the blindness, the self-deception, the belief that effort alone could create love where it had already died. I pulled into a gas station at the edge of a small town. An old sign swung over the pumps. A rusted vending machine buzzed near the door. I stepped out, stretched, felt the cold bite my skin. Inside, I bought water and a protein bar. A man stood in the back, flipping through a magazine. Older, late 50s, weathered hands, tired eyes. He looked up. Our gazes met. He nodded like he knew exactly what I was carrying. Long drive, he said. Yeah, trying to outrun something. More like trying to find where you are supposed to be, he replied. Sometimes you do not know where you are going, and that is the best part. His words stuck to me. I paid, left, sat in the car, staring at the road ahead. For the first time in years, I did not have to answer to anyone. I did not have to be the man who rushed home, who asked what Meredith needed before thinking of himself. For the first time in years, I was free. The freedom scared me, but it felt good. I scrolled past Meredith messages. Instead, I stopped on a name I had not touched in years. Lucas, my brother. Life had made distance between us, but if anyone could understand, IT was him. I called. He picked up on the third ring. Tobias, he said, his voice groggy. Everything okay? No, I said. But I think I am finally ready to figure out what okay looks like. He did not press. He just listened. And then he said, you do not have to figure it out alone. Come stay with me. No pressure. Just a place to land. For the first time since I walked out, I let myself say yes. The drive to his place took hours. My phone did not ring again. Maybe she finally understood I was not coming back. When I arrived, the sun was setting. Lucas stood outside, leaning against his truck. He looked me over, saw the exhaustion, and just nodded. Good to see you, man. Something in me loosened. He did not ask if I was okay. He did not expect me to pretend. He just knew. We sat on his porch, beers in hand. The air was warm, the sound of cicadas in the distance. I had not felt this kind of peace in years. No weight, no expectation, just quiet. Do you regret it? He asked. I took a long sip. Did I regret leaving the life I had built, the woman I had loved? No. I regret not seeing it sooner. But leaving, no. It was the first real decision I made for myself in a long time. Lucas nodded. Good. And for the first time I believed it. I did not have all the answers. I did not know what came next. But the future did not feel like a trap anymore. It felt like an open road, and I was finally ready to see where it led.